Peace, guys. It's your boy Evil, the Any-Star host of the Dinings Podcast. I am going live right now on Twitter and also Sportscaster. So shout out to everybody on Sportscaster. I know my guy's going to pop in. We're going to try Twitter for the first time. I haven't done live on Twitter yet. I've been messing around with Facebook. You know, the haters on Facebook. So I want to see what's going on with Twitter, see how the crowd is with that. So, I mean, obviously, it's Tom Thibodeau. That's the big news right now. Tom Thibodeau is the coach, man. This is my... this is one thing that I really like about Tom Thibodeau is this, man. Look at this. Dude, just read the lips. Yeah, let's go to the back room, man. Let's go to the bathroom. I think he said let's go to the men's room. Look at that. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, fuck you too. yeah. Let's go to the back room. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's how he does, man. That's what we're gonna get with Tom Thibodeau, man. So I know a lot of guys like that. That's nostalgia. But I mean, is that going to be the downfall of this current generation with the Knicks right now? Is nostalgia, because everyone wants to go back to the winning culture, Knicks culture, 90s Knicks. Even guys go back even further. They want to go back to the 70s Knicks. They want to get back to the winning ways, beautiful basketball, and this, that, and the other. They want to get back to guys being held accountable, like yelling coaches and stuff like that. So Tom Thibodeau is like the object of everybody's affection, but there comes a price with that thing, man. And we've seen it before with plenty of coaches. I know the situations were very different, but you want to talk about Larry Brown. Remember Larry Brown? He won the championship, and it was always with him, play the right way. And as soon as he got here, they was playing that whole play the right way stuff and keeping guys accountable and all the other stuff. And then what happened? Larry Brown started playing guys according to their hometown. You know what I'm saying? He basically pissed away the season, and collected his money. And you can go down to Lenny Wilkins. We kind of embarrassed Lenny Wilkins, shot him out the league. Don Chaney was a respectable coach, but we made him leave the Garden, escorted him out the Garden with a garbage bag. You know what I'm saying? So you can just go down the line to the history of the Knicks, even like the recent history. You want to talk about Phil Jackson? We brought Phil Jackson back. He wasn't the coach; he was an executive. But look what we did to him. We emasculated him. 11 championships, storied history. Big time coach in this world, not just the NBA. Talking about CBA, the Puerto Rican League, everything like that. If you watch The Last Stand, but we have a tendency to emasculate coaches, man. So this guy here, look at this. Look, this is your favorite New Yorker right here. This is a Brooklynite. This is I know plenty of guys like this. I've grew up with guys like this. So New York is gonna be New York, man. So I'm quite sure a lot of you grew up with a lot of guys like that. And growing up with people like that, they tend to be petty, man. I don't see Tom Thibodeau reacting in the media in any kind of way. I know he's gonna self-preserve, but I mean, like, internally and stuff, you see what type of guy he is. He's a New Yorker, you know what I'm saying? So New Yorkers got a way of being petty when things come out. Anyway, let's talk about some of these reactions here. So we got let's start with David West. Let's check out David West. David West, of course, there's gonna be like a plenty of sides of the story. So anyway, David West thing is like, they gave another, he didn't basically say that in so many words, but I'm just gonna translate it. They tend to give white coaches more chances, throughout history. You know what I'm saying? Things are changing now. A couple of black coaches have gotten their chance, whatever. But you want to talk about Mark Jackson. You want to even talk about another guy, Mike Woodson, which we'll talk about later. Like these guys, they get fired and they just really don't get another job. Don Chaney's another guy, like I just mentioned him. We emasculated him. Even guys like even Isaiah Thomas. We had him. He actually was a decent coach. He coached pretty well in Indiana. Once you fail as a black coach, I guess you can play that they really don't get too many more opportunities. Shout out to the old Toronto coaches, because Toronto they fired their coach and end up that coach ended up going right to another situation. So it's true in some cases and it's true in other cases too. So, but I mean, this is just another narrative here. So you can just go down to let's try somebody else. Let's say let's do our boy Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson. I just like looking at the guy. He's a spirited dude. So Nate Robinson, I guess we can do Coach Tibb reactions, right? So Tom Tibb, reaction, right? So shout out to Nate. He's supposed to be boxing, as you can see. He's gonna fight Jake Paul. Now, say what you want to say about Nate Robinson, but he's gifted, a gifted athlete, but he's also kind of guy that he's short for his sport, but God bless him with physical gifts, and he has a tremendous work ethic. But that's no here to there. So here goes on what I'm trying to get at here. His reaction is similar to most ex players, especially guys that used to play for him. And it, they always endorse Thibodeau, saying that he's the right guy for the job. That same type of thing. He's gonna hold guys accountable. Guys gonna be playing tough, defense and this, that, and the other. Here's another young lady here. I can't get her name right now, but you know who she is. She has her own show, whatever. Let's get to the regular reactions. Let's do Tom Thibodeau reactions. Right now, I got on YouTube for those that are going to be listening on the audio podcast. I'm just showing everybody the YouTube. Let's do reactions. We're doing Thibodeau reactions. It's bugged out. Like, this is like the internet age, man. So everything is like, short type and stuff like that. So you forget how to spell stuff. So there she goes. There's Rachel Nichols. Rachel Nichols here. She's always got something slick to say about the Knicks, whatever, So I didn't even click it. Half of these videos I didn't even click. You want to look at Tracy McGrady there. Our boy Stephen A. Smith. He gave a reaction. Who else did he got on there? What was that Donnie Harrell? You can just go down the line, spin it up here. There's a bunch of reactions. You got our boy Jalen Rose, former Nick. Shout out to him. Who wants to hear about from Pee? I call him Pee. That's Paul Pierce. That's the same thing that David West was saying. So it's a funny thing, man. How many jobs is he gonna get? You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, he only got 2 jobs. He got the Chicago job, and then he ended up getting the Minnesota job. Not every coach is gonna be glittering every spot they go to, but you can't really say nothing bad about Chicago because I'm not gonna pull up his stats, but Tom Thibodeau was winning for 5 years in Chicago, and then you go to Minnesota and he didn't really do so well there. But it's really because of the clientele. It might be because of the generation too. The generation gap between the players that he had in Chicago and the players that he had in Minnesota. 2 different kind of generations, man. Because you got guys like Joakim Noah. Joakim Noah is basically like around my age. He's a little bit younger, but we came up in the same New York. He's from Hell's Kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Hell's Kitchen, when Hell's Kitchen was bad, freaking, it was like a crack spot. So Noah came up in the same area I came up with. So it's just a different kind of feel as far as a human being, because Noah is the type of guy that's going to get in your face. And as you can see with Tom Thibodeau with this famous video that he did that's coming out now here with him yelling and cursing and stuff like that. This is Joakim Noah right there. All that is Joakim Noah. Then all the other players, Derrick Rose, he came up through Simeon in Chicago. Chicago's ridden with gangs and all kind of stuff. And Simeon was the famous school where the other kid ended up getting killed. That he was supposed to be like the next big star or whatever, and he ended up getting killed. So this is where they come from. These are just tough guys, tough people. You want to talk about Luol Deng? He has a history. Even Ben Gordon and all these different guys that he had over there. These are just different type of people. These guys are driven a certain way, and they all have a similar personality. That you can see them all together hanging out off the court, not just on the court. So these type of situations, are different than compared to Minnesota. Because you want to talk about Minnesota, what's the kid over there? Cat. What's that? Carl Anthony Towns. Yeah, they call him Cat for Christ's sake. He has a hyphenated name. That's like the new thing. So I mean, this all that to me just shows softness, like the Charmin, So this is all different type of players. Jimmy Butler went over there and he went ballistic. I never seen an NBA player do that, so openly, But I know this is like the internet age, like I was saying before, and there's always a camera and there's always a voice because somebody can just go right on Twitter and post something, And he goes another guy on D'Angelo Russell. They went and got D'Angelo Russell. I actually like him. He matured as a player. Staying off Twitter, shout out to you guys on Twitter. Staying off the internet, not videotaping stuff like that. So he learned his lesson. But these are the type of people that they're attracting now. This is that generation, the internet generation. So everybody's a little bit different. Like I wouldn't say they're soft because Carl Anthony Towns is not gonna let somebody beat him up, but they're soft in a way that just they're not gonna react well to yelling and screaming. So they didn't react well to Jimmy Butler. I guess Tom Thibodeau was probably trying to do the same thing, but it wasn't working. So Jimmy was like, "Nah, man, fuck that." So he kind of just took things into his own hands. So shout out to Minnesota. They're trying to figure it out over there. Knicks are trying to figure it out too, man. We really want a star. We thought we wanted a star, and we hypnotized our fans with that, with the whole saving mentality and stuff like that. And we just let that trickle into the organization. So right now we actually have a healthy organization. We're not no longer trying to chase a star. We got rid of Steve Mills. Steve Mills was basically trying to chase a star. But shout out to Steve Mills because he brought in Scott Perry, and the ball started to roll now to where we are now, where we have a bunch of basketball guys in our front office. So right now we're into team building. We're not necessarily trying to get a star. So I mean, but we keep the money in the bag just in case the star becomes available. So anyway, while I'm ranting here, man, I just talking to see waiting for guys to jump in here. So we got guys in Sportscaster. So shout out to Pat's Rule Jam. He gave me 20 tickets, man. I still don't really get what tickets are, but I love to get the tickets, man. Right now, I can't really hear the notifications on Sportscaster right now because I'm watching it on a different screen. But shout out to Pat's Rule Jam, man. That's he gave 20 tickets. Who else is over there? We got somebody named Row, just ROW. That's rare that you find a guy with a name like that. So also on Sportscaster, we got Knicks fan 2883. We got Anna Banana. I love those names, man. I think I've seen Anna Banana before. Yeah, man. So shout out to you guys, man. If you guys got anything that you want to add to the chat, just jump on the chat. I'll shout you guys out, man. Also, shout out to anybody that's lingering there on Twitter. The feed is a little weird, so I can't really tell who popped on. So if you see me talking, man, you want to get in on the chat, just say what up, and I'll put you right on the screen, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Yeah, man. So this is really just like a reaction to the reaction type of thing, because I already made a video about Tom Thibodeau. You can go check that out. But right now this is really just fan and just media reaction kind of. So like I said, we talked about the whole David West, always trying to keep a black man down kind of thing. I guess he would have preferred to see a person of color be a coach. Okay, cool. But if you're gonna allude to that, you got to throw some names out there. Who would you have hired? You know what I'm saying? I didn't really get his reaction. Nor did I even care to look and see what his reaction was. This is for the sake of conversation. So Nate Robinson, whatever. A lot of these guys also said that maybe this might be a bad spot for Tom because of the simple fact that of their emasculation. Nobody wants to see Tom getting dragged through the New York media the way they did to everybody. Because like I said, they did it to Phil Jackson. So if you're gonna do it to Phil, a guy who's a former Knick, he won championships here. He's like story, whatever, and you're gonna do that to him. And you did it to Larry Brown. You did it to all these different guys. So is it Tom Thibodeau's turn to go through the coals? Anyway, man, that's no here no there, man. But we got to talk about this guy, Mike Woodson. Now, shout out to my coworker, man. I'm gonna call him Young Gamma Ray. We was working together today. We're working together all week, really. And I briefly mentioned the whole Mike Woodson thing that we might hire our it's not official, but we might hire Mike Woodson to be our assistant coach. Maybe I don't know if it's a top assistant or they didn't really say it was assistant coach, but he's going to be involved in some kind of way. Okay, cool. We'll see as the days go on what that role is. But he said, "Yo, Mike Wilson's good, man. Didn't they win 54 games, or whatever?" Well, let's get into it, man, because I'm not a fan of Mike Wilson. Now, before you even talk about the Knicks, this is of course Basketball Reference. I shout out to my Basketball Reference. If you're not using Basketball Reference, I don't know what you're doing, man. Don't go to any other website to look up information, man. If you want information, go to a Basketball Reference. And like I said, I'm not even affiliated with them. It's just just cut the middleman. So anyway, let's get this up on the screen. So Basketball Reference. Yeah, man, I like to shout out other people, man. So like if you have a website or anything for that matter, if you're involved with the Knicks and you're involved with sports and stuff like that, and you're putting out good stuff, man. I don't have no problem uh, putting your stuff up here, and I don't have a problem mentioning you either. I know a lot of other podcasters don't. Anyway, here's Mike Woodson's stats here. Let's start from the top. Mike Woodson, man. Right now, Mike Woodson is 62 years old. He's from Indianapolis, and a lot of people forget that he actually was a former Nick, and he had a mediocre, decent career. Like he was a legit NBA starter kind of guy, like double figures in scoring and that type of thing. Get out of here, man. Got a touch screen thing going on here. Anyway, I'll leave that up, man. But look, he was an assistant from 96, 97 to what's that 04, 05 season. So he was in Milwaukee. I don't know who he was under in Milwaukee. I guess we could check that out. Go to Milwaukee and see who the head coach was. The Milwaukee head coach in 1996-97 season was Mike Dunn. No, that was an executive. Okay, Chris Ford. Chris Ford is a former Celtic, and he's a freaking crazy bastard too, man. He was very fiery. I didn't really like him as a coach because there was a lot of fighting going on back then, from what I remember. You just keep going down the line. 96, 97, 98. Chris Ford. In that third year was all. He played under George Carlin in the Bucks for a little while too. So that's right before he became before he changed places. So let's go back before he got to the next team. So let's see where else he coached. He was in Atlanta, and he went to Cleveland. When I see Cleveland, let's see who he was coaching under. I'm thinking, what was that 2000? Was it Randy Whitman? Okay, Randy Whitman. That's another guy that keeps getting jobs. Randy Whitman, what has he done in his coaching career to allow him to get so many jobs? Anyway, Randy Whitman. That's Jim Paxson. There was the executive, Jim Paxson, not to be confused with John. I don't even think they're related. Jim Paxson was actually a pretty good basketball player too. Let's go back to Mike Woodson's coaching record. What else? Then he played for. Then he coached for Philly. See who he was with in Philly. I'm just trying to see Larry Brown. Okay, cool. I'm just trying to see his coaching tree, like who he coached under, because there's a point to all of this, Larry Brown again. I saw Larry Brown pulled him in from Philly and brought him to Detroit. So did they win the championship? Yep, they won the championship that year too. So this is exactly how Mike Woodson got his job. So Detroit won the championship, and the top assistant for the championship team usually gets the next coaching hire. So I guess that's how he got the job with Atlanta. So his first year in Atlanta, 13-69. Second year of Atlanta, 26-56. Third year in Atlanta, 30-52. Is there a trend here, man? I looking back at the coaching records, at the coaching history, I didn't realize that he lost, this many seasons before they actually started making the playoffs. So anyway, 37-45. Did they make the playoffs that year, Atlanta? No, they did not. They missed the playoffs. No. They lost in the first round to the Celtics. So this is like it's kind of ridiculous a little bit. So he didn't have too many winning seasons in Atlanta. Let's go back here. So he had a losing record, and he made the playoffs with them having a losing record. Then the following year he had 47 wins, and the next year he actually had 53 wins. So I'll click the 53 win season to see what kind of team they had, because like I said, there's a whole point to this. I know Mike Woodson is not the coach of the Knicks, but this is just the love that a lot of fans have. Come on, man. There you go. Got Atlanta here. Let's just scroll down here. Who did he have on his roster that was so ill? This is what's crazy about the internet, man. When you're doing stuff like this, you just gotta hope that you stay connected. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to make a point here. So anyway, you got Joe Johnson, ISO Joe. Okay, that tells the whole story there. You got Josh Smith, Al Horford was the leader. Jamal Crawford, super sub. Was Jamal Crawford starting? Nah, he was coming off the bench. Super sub, 18 points a game. What else? Mike Bibby was 31, so he was going down at that point. A bunch of other guys too. Zaza Pachulia. You got Jeff Teague on his way up. He was 21. Joe Smith, John Collins, bunch of other different guys. What's that? Randolph Morris. Randolph Morris actually made a career for himself in China, and Mario West. Okay, cool. A bunch of different guys. There are a lot of good veterans and a lot of good young guys here too. So this was the mix that he had. But well, as soon as I see Joe Johnson, I think of ISO Joe, and when you think of ISO Joe, I think of Melo. So I guess now you can fast forward into the Knicks career. Now in the beginning, he took over for Mike D'Antoni. So 18-6, okay, cool. They were. It's not like they were losing. They just got rid of D'Antoni. I guess we can get into that too. Let's just see what was going on for that 2011-2012 season. Man, we got who do you have on this team? We had just got let's see my guy there. Novak. Yeah, Novak was on the team. Uh, let's go back up here. We have D'Antoni was 18-24, so they did have a losing record before they got fired. And Mike Woodson came in and it turned around. So okay, I see the narrative. There's like a narrative here. I see the narrative. So they basically went what was that, 42? Is that 42? Is that my math? Is my math that bad or that good or whatever? So anyway, we did go to the playoffs with Mike Woodson and we lost to the Heat. We lost 1-4. I think that was a game where when we did win, they dropped the confetti. That's embarrassing, man. All right, cool, man. So that was his first little taste as a Knick head coach. So let's scroll back down. So let's go to that 54 win season. That's the magical season that everybody keeps going back. You know what I'm saying? Because most fans during that time were young. And then now they're getting into their 20s and stuff like that. So they love that season. A lot of guys were like little kids, and now like they're like junior high school and that type of high school age now. So like they're like, oh man, I love that Melo team. You know what I'm saying? But people that really know winning basketball or know real basketball are not so you know easily amused. You know what I'm saying? Got Earl Barron. Earl Barron played one game because I think it was injuries or whatever. Carmelo Anthony, 28. That was a career year for him. Felton was back. He was on 13-5. J.R. Smith, Tyson Chandler. We had Jason Kidd on the team. Look at all those veterans. You got Pablo Prigioni, Ronnie Brewer was there, Rasheed Wallace, Solomon Jones. We had a bunch of different guys, man. James White was on the team. Bunch of guys. Mari still was on the team, 14 points a game. Tyson Chandler was there. We had a good team. We had a lot of talent, a lot of veteran leadership and stuff like that. So that's the type of team that we have. But also too, you got to point out the ISO guy, 28.7. That's Woodson's game, man. ISO basketball. So let's fast forward to the next season, because everyone talks about this 54-win team, but what did they do the year after? Because you would think if you win 54 games, then you want to see if they can get to 60 or at least high 40s, right? What did they do? 37 wins. Let's check out their roster. This is a little bit dragging out here because I want guys to jump in on this chat. So let's do this. Go down to the roster. This is a 37 team now, 37 win team compared to that 54 win team. All right, we got Carmelo. Carmelo's still up there with 27 points a game, so we're still doing ISO. 37 wins. J.R. Smith was still there, a little bit less points per game with 14. But look at everybody else. You can see the games played. You can see the minutes involved. We went and got Bargnani. People talk about Bargnani, but some of the other guys are still there. Raymond Felton, Tyson Chandler, they all had off years. Amon Shumpert was on his way almost out the NBA before we traded him to Cleveland. Tim Hardaway Jr. was on there. He was acting like a bitch. We ended up getting rid of him after this season. Amari Stoudemire, 11 points a game. He was almost out the NBA. Kenyon Martin was still here, but look at those stats. He's an older man, 32. Still same athleticism, but just not quite the same player. Pablo Prigioni, he was like 36 years old. Bino Urbe, we thought that he was going to come in and do something, but he didn't do nothing. 31. Murder War Peace was actually on the team, 34 years old. You would think that he would bring some kind of leadership, but nothing, man. Earl Clark, I thought that Earl Clark would come in and do something. As a young guy, hopefully he got his own thing. Here goes another guy, Torrey Murray. I forgot all about Torrey Murray, but a lot of Knick fans wanted Torrey Murray to be like the way that Frank Ntilikina is now, to be the starter and this and the other. Oh, give the kid some minutes, give him a shot, give him a chance. Torrey Murray was that guy for us back when Woodson was the coach the first time. So I mean, this is all lessons that people forget, man. Look at Cole Orridge. Cole Orridge is another guy. You look at his 36 points a game, and it's like a double. And the blocks are decent too. So everybody's like, oh, give these young guys minutes and see what they can do. And they actually didn't do nothing. These guys, Torrey Murray was out the league, pretty much right after all of this. Maybe like a couple more years, he was out the league. Same with Cole Orridge. He was out the league too. So this is just all a fantasy. When you're mediocre and when you're a shit basketball team, and you're following it, you tend to let your emotions get involved, and your hopes and dreams and shit like that gets involved, and you forget to think rationally. And that's exactly what this team was, and that's exactly what that 54 win team was as well. Because if I remember correctly, Mike Woodson was asking the players for help. You know what I'm saying? He needed help to coach the team. So he's lucky that he made it through that year with Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson just let him go through the year, and then they saved the coaching search for the offseason. But that's Mike Woodson right there to me. So I really don't get it. I really don't get why people like Mike Woodson so much, or why they defend him so much. Because to me, he didn't really do nothing in his whole coaching career. He didn't have a winning record in Atlanta. They also too, they had a 50-something win year. Same thing like the Knicks, but the following year he didn't do as well. Next thing you know, he was on to his next coaching gig, which happened to be the Knicks, man. So it is what it is, bro. But this is the guy that's coming here. So it's not really announced yet if he's going to be the coach or not. But here's something to think about too. Let's say if the worst happens with Tom Thibodeau, and we end up firing him, who's going to be the guy that's going to slide over to be that, to be that guy? You know what I'm saying? It's more than likely going to be Mike Woodson, and I'm totally not okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Let's play some games with No, let me leave that. Let me leave him. I'm not gonna trash him, man. But this is the type of guy that we're gonna have, replacing Tom Thibodeau potentially. So anyway, I want to shout out a guy on Twitter. I told him I would do it, but here he is here. Let me put up a little bit bigger so you guys can see. He just made a comment here. It's just like, he's like, what a joke of a franchise. Be prepared for a former Bull running, screaming, and looking at this roster. No playoffs. He's gonna run the young guy, basically run young guys into the ground, destroy whatever value the players have, and they only manage to not destroy, and then leave. Good luck. This is something that's important. With the Tom Thibodeau thing, and also like I said, I said all that stuff about Mike Woodson just to allude to this, that if something happens with Tom Thibodeau this year and everything goes to shit, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna keep the guy for the year? Because once things go bad, the New York media goes crazy, and then the fans go crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's really not like a healthy place for a coach to be in New York. So shout out to Tibbs, man. He has his work cut out for him. We all hope for the best, but you got to prepare for the worst. And this is all legit, man. This where everyone gets caught up with the nostalgia with the whole thing. Like I explained that at the top of the show, but you really have to take this into account. So just check out what he said after. He said, I appreciate the Knicks trying to build something, but the feeling is that they seem to be searching for, same thing like I'm saying, like something from the past, taking advantage of their benefits, the rich owner, the location, the history, and build something, with that blueprint. So he's just trying to say that the Knicks are just wasting their opportunity. We have the best situation in the world, and we just consistently keep messing it up. No matter who's here, Phil Jackson, like I said at the beginning, now it's Tom's turn. So we just hope that that this is gonna be something different this time. So let's give this guy a follow because I noticed I wasn't following him. So let me give him a follow. Shout out to he has a weird name, man. So I'm not really good with names, but I know you guys see it on the screen. So like I said, man, if you are a Knicks fan, you know we're brothers in this game, man. So I'm gonna give you a shout out, even if I don't even know who the hell you are. You know what I'm saying? Sty Knicks podcast. Anyway, for those that keep popping in Twitter and leaving, man, this is Evil to Any Star. You guys see me on Dynamics PC. I'm not really a fan of Twitter too much, man, because you guys on Twitter get a little bit nutty and sometimes a little bit too personal. So I don't really like to chime into that. I don't want that negativity in my brain, So but I'm just giving you guys a shout, see what's up, So I go back and forth between Facebook and YouTube as well with the live show, and today I'm giving Twitter a shot. I'll probably give Twitter a shot again. Let's go back to Sportscaster because these are my guys on Sportscaster. Uh, Knicks fan 28 said he was new. Yeah, so shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in, man. Who else we got here? We got Yuda Osman. Okay, Yuda Osman. Oh, I skipped somebody. That's Neff 56. Yuda Osman, 50 tickets, man. Yo, shout out to you, man. I love tickets. I don't know what they do, but I love getting them, man. So, shout out to you for the tickets, man. So, yeah, that's the reaction, man. I really would like to see what these guys on Twitter have to say. But Twitter's hating on me today. Not as bad as Facebook. Facebook be hating hard, man. So right now, since Twitter's not really doing nothing for me, I'm gonna remove them. Goodbye. Goodbye, Twitter. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get down with the Dynamics podcast. Let's try Facebook. So right now we're gonna be jumping in live on Facebook. So we're gonna give them a little time to jump in. So we've been 32 minutes into this, man. So shout out to my guys on Sportscaster. Sportscaster is the best. I'm glad that I'm involved with it. I got involved with it through Nothing But Knicks. I don't know if you guys follow Nothing But Knicks on YouTube, but he's also streaming on Sportscaster. He got a bunch of us together, man. I'm not really good with names and stuff like that. I guess I could pull up some names and shout out the crew. We also have a new person, a new affiliate. So look out for us, man. We're gonna be doing some things. We're gonna be doing some collabos. We're gonna be doing some some stuff. You know what I'm saying? So look out for this channel. Also, like I said, Nothing But Knicks. Let me shout out the lineup. We got our guy Andy. Andy's actually from Poland, so we have a Knick fan in Poland that goes back and forth from Poland in the United States. But I think he's native from out there. So shout out to Andy. We got Gorilla Mo. Gorilla Mo, if you follow Nothing But Knicks, he's like a staple on that show. Isaiah B93. That's the name he goes by, man. He's my guy, man. I enjoy following him on Instagram. I actually met him before too. He's a good kid. What else we got here? Savvy D. I never met Savvy D, but he's down with the show. He seems like a good dude too. And of course, Simeon Russell. And the new affiliate is also Nickish. So if you guys follow Nickish on Instagram or maybe listen to his podcast as well, Nickish is down with the crew too. So this is the Nothing But Knicks network, and like I said, this is Evil to Any Star, and you're watching the Dire Knicks podcast, man. So thanks for tuning in. I see a couple people jumping in on Facebook. Right now we've been going on live for maybe like 34 minutes. I was on Twitter for 30 minutes, and Twitter was hating over there. So I brought Facebook on here because you guys are more used to me popping in here. So if you're listening to me now on Facebook, say what up, and I'll shout you out. Shout you out in on the screen here. Right now I got a Twitter thing up here. That's I was giving love to one of the users there. Yeah, man. So we're talking about Tom Thibodeau. We're talking about Woodson, and anything else that anybody else wants to talk about, man. What do you guys want to talk about on Sportscaster? Hit me up on here and we'll talk about it. Tom, like let's do this. Tom Thibodeau is officially the coach, and we could do this because I'm not, like I said, I'm not a fan of Mike Woodson, so we're gonna give Mike Woodson the ticker. I'm gonna give Mike Woodson the ticker. I'm not really a fan of Mike Woodson, man. Yeah, man. So when you guys get a chance, you can hear what I said about Mike Woodson earlier. But like I said, chime in on the chat and we could talk a little bit. All right. What else? Let's do that. Let's take this off. Yeah, let's hear from you guys on the chat. If anybody's in there, feel like throwing some stuff at me, let's do it. What we got going on here on Facebook? See a comment on Facebook. This is Frankie Fuentes. What up, Frankie? That's his little son there. That's his like what is that, like his fourth kid? That's a cutie there, man. Saying what up. Yeah, man, doing a live thing. Trying to get some fan reaction here. If you're on Facebook, like I said, if you're on Facebook right now, say what up, and we could talk some Knicks, man. Give me a question, whatever. I'll put it up on the screen, just like I put up Frankie's little thing there. Yeah, that's Frank. That's CTA Frank. I'm trying to get him on the show too, man. He's a Laker fan. I'm not really a fan of of Laker fans, because they always had like a silver spoon in their mouth, you know, constantly winning. Every time you look around, they got like a new every time you look around, they got like a new superstar. So I be hating. The Knicks can't seem to get anybody, but the Lakers get everybody, So yeah, man. What's going on Sportscaster? Yeah, man. So that's it, man. We got Tom Thibodeau as the coach, and you're gonna see another live probably like whenever they start announcing this coaching staff. I would imagine the coaching staff is gonna be announced pretty soon because they're gonna start expediting things as far as workouts and stuff like that. They haven't announced it yet, but they're supposed to announce what they're gonna do with teams that are not in the bubble. So they're gonna have organized scrimmages. Guys going to each other's practice facility, doing their thing that way. So that's gonna be interesting. Knicks got to get some work, man. I know. The NBA kind of wants to keep things in house. The whole bubble thing. Everybody's watching us, so they really don't want to see us doing stuff. Like doing scrimmages like we did last year with with the whole crew. They were showing up to what's the place they were showing up? They were showing up to some of these trainers gyms as a group, playing pickup against other guys in gyms. So I guess they really don't want the Knicks doing that, because that's the wave now. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of want things to be organized and just to be an example for the rest of the world and stuff with the whole bubble. But this bubble stuff is kind of ridiculous because they don't want fans to be in the games, because it's unsafe. They want everyone to be safe, but they're still gonna send kids back to school. So if it's safe for the kids to be back in school in that type of environment with like they don't have windows, in the winter a lot of these schools don't even have proper heat. In the summertime they don't even have proper air conditioning, but it's okay for the kids to be back in school. So it's just weird, man. But what's going on here? Hopefully better defense from your team this year. Yeah, whatever, Frank, man. That's Frank talking from a Lakers fan perspective. Yeah, man. Shout out to you. I'm gonna get you on the show, man. You and your sister to tell your story about why you guys are Lakers fans. So I can't really hate on you too much because you guys have a good story. Most people do, but a lot of people are like suckers. But like I said, you have a great story. So I would like to put you on here so you could talk about it because you're New Yorkers, but you have a good story. What's going on in Sportscaster, man? Sportscast is still quiet over there today. Once again, shout out to everybody that gave tips. You got two people here. You got Pat's Rules and you the man Osmond. Yeah, we're just talking Tom Thibodeau for the first 30 minutes. Right now, I'm just trying to get some fan stuff. Let's do this. I actually have a telephone number. So if anybody wanted to talk on the phone, give some fan reactions via the phone, you can do that. And if you know me personally, we can talk offline and we can get some guest stuff going on. Basketball fan, yeah, I see you're a basketball fan, but you go for the laundry. That's your line, That's a dope line. Frank always got the gems. Always got the different lines that I steal occasionally, but I always shout you out to make sure the right person gets the credit for this type of thing. Yeah, man. All right, so if nobody else is gonna pop up on Facebook, if anybody doesn't have anything to say over there on Sportscaster, we're gonna chop this up, man, and call it a day. Yeah, so for those that are new to this thing, You can catch me on my audio podcast. That's Dynamics Podcast. I'm on all platforms. I got basically everywhere. Anywhere where you can find a podcast, you're gonna find Dynamics Podcast. So I'm gonna put this up on the screen. It's an overlay. You got Apple TV, Apple Podcasts. You got Amazon Alexa, Google Play, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn. I just found out I'm on TuneIn. OK Player, Radio Podcast. Excuse me, iHeartRadio. You got Stitcher. I'm basically all over the place, man. Anywhere you find a podcast, except what do you call what's the one that all the kids that think they're rappers? SoundCloud. I'm not on SoundCloud because SoundCloud is actually what do they call a place where you store your podcasts, and I don't store it through there. I'm actually doing things through Anchor, so you can also find me on Anchor. And we do the whole Nick thing here, man. Just a different voice. Everyone has their own way of doing things, and this is the way I do it, man. So this is the Dynamics Podcast. Once again, Evil to Andy Star. This is the number. Once again, you can save it. If you don't want to call, you can also text, and I can shout you out via text as well. Yeah, man. So the next time you see me live, if nothing special happens, you're gonna see me on Sunday in the morning to see what the crowd is like on Sundays in the morning. So maybe like around brunch time or so. So we're talking about afternoon, maybe early afternoon, mid afternoon, something like that. You see the Dynamics Podcast for the next show, and I'll try to do Wednesdays. If nothing's going on, it'll be Sundays and Wednesdays. I'll be going live. So the show, check that out. I'm definitely gonna be on Sportscaster all the time for the shows, and I'll alternate back and forth to Facebook and Twitter, and maybe even YouTube sometimes. Just to see who's out there. So anyway, this is the Dynamics Podcast. Keep following the show, and it's gonna get better and better, man. Like I'm doing this whole OBS thing, trying it out, see how I like it, different type of things here. You'll see this evolving as well. You see, like I got no background, nothing like that, but I'm up close and personal. It's hot as fuck. I don't know if you can hear the fan going in the background, but the fan is buzzing, and you'll just see different changes as the thing goes on, man. So once again, thanks for tuning in. It's Dynamics Podcast. Once again, the first half of the show, the first 30 minutes is all basketball talk. Talked about Tom Thibodeau, and I talked about Woodson, and I'll just tied it into to my thoughts on the team. The climate that's been going on with the Knicks and everything else associated with that, man. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. For those checking on the replay, thank you guys for checking out the replay. And also there's going to be a audio podcast available of this show for the first 30 minutes that was happening here. So yeah, man, this is your boy Evil to Any Star, host of the Dynamics Podcast. As we leave the show, I like to put 4 fingers to the forehead, tuck in the thumb, salute. That's what you do when you see Die Hard. So if you see me out there in the streets, not hard to find me, man. I'm always rocking my gear, hat backwards, Die Hard. See me out there looking like a ham, man. Say what up to the kid, and maybe I'll give you a sticker or a button or something like that. Anyway, shout out to you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and this has been another episode of the Dynamics Podcast. Peace.